One day, the students in our classes will be all grown up. They'll be surgeons and entrepreneurs, artists and athletes. They'll be making important decisions in business and reporting the news. They'll be braving fires and catching the bad guys. One day, our student might find himself or herself seated at the desk of the most powerful nation in the world. But before all this, they were just kids, and they were kids in our classrooms. So what did we do to teach them? What did we do to prepare them? How did we affect their lives, and consequently, how did we impact their future and ours? The curriculum stands at the center of controversy, while simultaneously endeavoring to govern learning and aiming in part to define knowledge itself. This means that as educators, we certainly have a lot to think about. Will we be, as Charles Dickens once said, a cannon loaded to the muzzle with facts, and prepare to blow them, our students, clean out of the regions of childhood at one discharge? Or will we see students as complex individuals, students who come to the table with their own particular sets of experiences that define their view of learning and themselves? As educators, we must realize that the curriculum is not an island unto itself. It exists within a vast sphere of influences that in turn exist as part of the larger society. This means then that as educators we must make some key decisions. So what will be our guiding philosophy? This means that we must give attention to the social context of our students and address the experiences they bring to the classroom conversation. To do so means that no matter how well we think we can multitask, we need to stop and listen to them. Listen to what they have to say. This poses some interesting questions for the teacher. In the midst of reading, writing, and arithmetic, what exactly are we even preparing our students for? The theory is extensive. Is our goal to produce well-intentioned citizens? Or perhaps we just want to help them get into the right college so they can get the right job. Maybe it comes back to competition. Or maybe it's about making society a better place. As educators, we must think through these concepts, and if not able to find one that fits, then to pick the best parts of each as we teach our students. As history teaches us, however, the pendulum is bound to shift as concerned individuals debate the merits of each educational philosophy, and we as teachers must think through each pendulum shift without jumping haphazardly on the next big thing bandwagon. Take, for example, the reigning supremacy of maths and sciences in today's society. Certainly, maths and sciences are important, but with all the focus on these fields, we can sometimes forget that the world is run by ideas first, and because ideas are grounded in philosophies, we should be wary of implicitly teaching children that learning to think and reason about ideas is not as important as, say, factoring the square root of a number. Of course, once in the classroom, there are plenty of curriculum options to choose from. We can teach what's been shaped politically or officially mandated, make our way through a curriculum that addresses the needs of our students, or teach what we know will be tested. Of course, there's always what we don't teach, so who gets left out? What cultural influences will shape our decision-making, and are we aware that they are shaping our decision-making? Do we take Shakespeare's Hamlet in favor of the lesser-read The Tempest? The intricacies of the Boston Tea Party over the effects of war on Native Americans? Is giving each major topic a cursory view better than delving deeply into one topic? E.D. Hirsch thought that there should be certain core knowledge that we all knew and shared. Would a general consensus on such knowledge bind us closer together as a society? Perhaps. And more importantly, what do the students think? Certainly, their cultural context will inform their views of the curriculum, with students across the country, no doubt, viewing the same topics in different lights. Throw in the increased permeation of personal technologies, and the teacher of today is easily facing a different, though no less difficult set of challenges from the teacher of long ago. And as we weigh the benefits of these influences with their drawbacks, we must be able to do so in light of our particular classroom contexts. David T. Hansen says that every teacher leaves a personal imprint or signature on all of his or her classroom doings, and as an educator, I can't help but be awed by my responsibility in the classroom. Ultimately, every decision we as educators make about and in the classroom is a moral decision, even though the standard for that morality often seems transient in today's social context. Truthfully, when it comes to the curriculum, I often find myself with more questions than answers. It seems then that in the end, one of the best things an educator can do is work to instill a love of learning in his or her students. That way, our kids will ultimately create their own curricula of personal learning for when they leave us, even if that curriculum isn't constrained by the four walls of a classroom. So what have I learned? I've learned that decisions about the curriculum must be carefully weighed against the various social contexts unfolding it, and I know that these facets of the curriculum are far too valuable to be left solely in the hands of school boards that are detached from the daily going-ons in the classroom. As educators, we must be a clear voice in the process, arming ourselves with reliable information to make the key decisions that will help the next generation pave the way in this so uncertain and increasingly globalized future. If not for our sake, then we must certainly be this voice for the sake of our students as they struggle toward the ever-elusive American dream.